Hello everyone, welcome to the last word here at Villa Park, where Newcastle have came away with a 0-0 draw. We'll talk a little bit about that. We will hear from Eddie Howe a little bit later. If you haven't seen all the previous videos that I'll put out, put a match reaction out, scoring the players and a vlog, and this is the last one of the day. I'm also going to the under-21s as well, so make sure you stay at Newcastle Fans TV. This is the place to be. Drop us a massive like. Appreciate that. If you listen on audio 5 stars, please, that would be lovely. So a lot of the fans are starting to leave the way out of the ground. It's a little bit more quieter now. I've waited a good 10 minutes or so until it calms down a bit. But obviously Newcastle, we will talk about them, and of course a little bit on Aston Villa. Now obviously our record down here has not been the greatest down the years. Obviously we got absolutely battered 4-1. Tonali, indeed, yes. Obviously, we got absolutely battered last season, 4-1. Now, when I say last season, it was only literally 4 months ago, wasn't it? So it feels like it hasn't been that long since coming back here. Obviously, that day, Trippier and Fabian Schär were ripped apart, and I was a little bit worried seeing that same start lineup. With the whiteboard video that I did last night, that was my concern, and I got the lineup spot on. It wasn't that difficult. I don't feel you'll know that Eddie Howe will eventually move his new signings in, so Ramsdale might get in a few games' time, and Malik Chow and Jacob Ramsey, which we'll touch upon later, and Johan Vissa, hopefully that gets announced in the next week or so, because we need a striker, no doubt about it. But let's take a look at the lineup then, as predicted on the whiteboard, spot on, all 11. Nick Pope and goal. Right back was Kieran Trippier. Left back was Tino Livramento. 2 centre-backs of Dan Burn and Fabian Schär. And then, of course, your midfield 3 of the 2 Brazilians, Joe Linton and Bruno Gomes. And then you've also got Sandro Tonali on the right-hand side, Anthony Elanga. Left-hand side, Harvey Barnes. And up top was Anthony Gordon. Now, Aston Villa obviously fairly strong themselves. Obviously no Jacob Ramsey. What was interesting, before we get into the game, is a few things I want to touch upon off the pitch that happened in the stands. What was really interesting is that Aston Villa and Newcastle United were both basically singing fuck. There you go. So there you go. They're even just singing. They're singing that themselves. A couple of Villa fans going past. I don't know if the mic was picking that up. Corrupt as fuck the Premier League and fuck PSR. Both sets of fans were singing it because both of these clubs, Aston Villa and Newcastle, we know it ourselves, have been halted by progression because we can't put money back in the playing pitch, the squad, whereas you can off the infrastructure and stuff like that. But look, that was unique because it's not often that Villa fans and Newcastle fans come together, and I thought that was a moment that with solidarity. I feel I really do. Is that a moment where, I don't know, I just felt solidarity that both sets of fans were singing it, because obviously we're being hampered. And also, just to touch upon it at the very end, you would have seen it on the vlog, is that about, I would say 20-25% of the Newcastle supporters heading out the ground were basically criticising Alexander Isak, shall we say politely, and they weren't too pleased with him. He's a greedy bastard. So we'll scrap the politeness singing that, so that's on the vlog. And look, they've got every right to say it. They deliberately timed that because Anthony Gordon's been interviewed by TNT, of course, Lindsay Hipgrave, one of our own, and that's when the chants were started to be sung. So interesting, those two. But let's get into the game. And I actually felt we were really good first half. Anthony Elanga in on goal, and he's in on goal. He should be scoring. He should be scoring for me. Oh, there's Nick Pope's dad again. He was out in Korea. I don't know if that's picking it up in the background. In on goal, for me, he has to look. It's a fantastic save, don't get me wrong, but for me, he's got to score. We also had another chance where it was a spell where I think Harvey Barnes was claiming a penalty, and I think it was Anthony Gordon, a deflected shot that just went over. Gordon also had a shot himself low down, and the keeper does really well. So we're carving out chances. And Gordon with a header as well with the cross. We're carving out chances, but I'll come on to the second half because we're not being clinical, and that's evidence. And I was really pleased with the performance in the first half in particular. It's the best that we've played since pre-season started, to be honest with you. Yes, you can say Carlisle, but nobody's seen the Carlisle game because it was behind closed doors. So no doubt about it, that was the best that we've started off so far this season. Now, going into half-time, you're thinking, right, can you come into that second half and keep it up? Because we are obviously dominating the first half. Villa surely can't get any worse. And Villa did come out the second half now having a lot more of the ball, but they weren't doing anything with it. A couple of tame shots that were straight at Nick Pope down the middle, but they weren't clinical enough. Newcastle just went off the gas a little bit. That was just a bit lacklustre, I felt. So it was a moment in time, that red card had come at just at the right time for us, because Gordon is bursting through. Konsa pulls him. It's a clear red card. You can't argue against it. Outside the box, red card. He's sent off, and that was a moment for me that, right, okay, we haven't been too pleasing in the second half, but you're now down to 10 men. You've got to go on and kick on and go and get that 3 points. You have to. You've got 25 minutes stoppages, half an hour, but we just didn't do it. We just didn't do it. There wasn't enough. I don't felt we tested their keeper in the second half. I can't remember that he did many saves. Only Nick Pope had to do one right at the very end for Daniel Malin, but apart from that, both goalkeepers weren't tested, and that was the time for me where it just proves that we haven't got a clinical striker. We've got one who doesn't want to be here, which the fans let themselves know. We all know about the Isak carry on. Well, no, I don't want to bang on about it, but it was evidence. Willis Sula was given 5 or 6 minutes. Obviously, notable players who, in the game ends 0-0, and the players come over and clap the fans and so on and what have you. There's a few indifferent performances tonight. I say it tonight today. I didn't think Bruno was at it. I think Bruno was really poor. I think Harvey Barnes was poor. In spells, not all the time, in spells, Elanga was hit and miss. And Gordon was trying, bless him. I've got knee problems with Anthony Gordon today. He worked his socks off. He was trying to create chances on his own. He's not a striker. So for me, Gordon out the front three deserves the most credit for his endeavour, his creativity, working hard. I love that. I absolutely love that for me. Midfield three, Tonali was okay. Tonali was probably the best out of those midfield three. Joe Litton was all right. Bruno was poor today. I don't know what it is about his performance today, but he was really poor. The full-backs, the defence, all spot on. Got no problems with that. I kept a clean sheet. They handled the pace really well, because last season we didn't. But look, we came away with a point. I feel positive about the performance up until the red card, but we should have went on and nicked that. I'm not going to come away from the ground feeling negged out, because I think that Newcastle played really well. So it's a case of what if. I said that in the match reaction. But I think we should hear from the boss himself. Eddie Howe is still inside as I record this.
Yes, I think we're pleased with the point, but I think the way we played, I thought we deserved more. I thought we were excellent in the first half, especially. Magnificent performance. Dominated most aspects of the game. We just couldn't score. Second half, probably until the red card, don't think that was our best period in the game, and then we came strong again with 11v10, but can't fault the players' attitudes. What they've given today, I thought we were magnificent. Well, it was a hot day, so I think maybe we struggled to keep the momentum and the intensity that we were playing at. I thought we made it difficult for them to gain any control in the game. Yeah, I think the home team's always going to have a period in the game where, especially one of the quality of Aston Villa, where they're slightly on top, but we defended really well today. A full compliment to the team in terms of how we navigated that period. We didn't concede, and we were going strong at the end trying to win. News around us all the time rather than focusing on what we need to do on the pitch and all the things that go into a performance today. Then players managed to shut that out and just perform, and we've done that consistently, so we're going to have to continue to do that, and we could do without the narrative against us, but what will be.
So that was Eddie Howe, and as I say, we should have won that. Obviously it's an early kick-off today. Obviously all the other Premier League games would have been played on Saturday, and this obviously the video's going out late. My hotel Wi-Fi is shocking. I basically have none, so I've got to tether out all the videos, which is frustrating. However, this is why the video is out in the morning, so drop us a like. However, right, we're going to talk about transfers, because Newcastle don't have a game now for 9 days. We're playing on the Monday night now against Liverpool, which will be a massive cauldron of fire. That atmosphere, I cannot wait to get inside. Cannot wait for that one. Well, whatever happens with Isak, Isak's not going to play, whether he's still a Newcastle player or he joins Liverpool. We know that that's not going to happen, but just the spice of that game, the whole Hugo Ekitike situation as well. It's going to turn the heat up, aren't we? So we've got 9 days until that game, and Jacob Ramsey should be announced. Obviously, it's a bit weird that we're here at Villa Park and we're taking their player because of PSR. Obviously, both sets of fans were singing, as I say, about it, so we're taking their player off them, and obviously they've already been sanctioned by UEFA as well, and so we're taking their player for 40 million. well, 39 plus a few million add-ons. So that should be expected. That'll give us squad depth. Obviously, he's a left-footed midfielder, number 8, so play on that left side of the 3. Can go out wide, can play in a further advanced role. It's a really good squad addition to Newcastle United. It's very difficult to get the break into that midfield 3 currently at the moment because they're so good. The performances yesterday wasn't, but over the course of the season, Bruno will be much better than that, 100%. So it's difficult to break into that midfield 3, but injury suspensions will occur. Lewis Melly came off the bench and I thought he was pretty disappointed, to be honest with you. But there is an opportunity there for Ramsey to play a lot more games with so many games that we have this season. Vissa, hopefully that develops next week. We need a striker in for Liverpool. We could be in a great position where whatever happens with Isak, whether that's still lingering, he hasn't moved on or whatever, but we could be in a position where we've got Ramsey in the squad and we've got Vissa potentially in the squad. That would be fantastic because obviously Otara is going to Brentford for 42 million, which then frees up Vissa to move. So hopefully that develops in the next 40 minutes. And I think for me, you push him up front. You go straight into that lineup for me. You have to. You've got to have a player who's clinical. And you can see it spelled today with the balls out wide, movement inside the box. And I'm not picking on Gordon because I think he's the best at the front 3 today. There's just little moments where a striker will know how to run front post or drop back, a little bit of a shimmy. Do you know that sort of stuff? The Mountain, I think Vissa can do that. He's got to go straight in the lineup for me. But the bigger picture is, of course, the whole carry on with Isak. You know, that needs resolved, whether because the time's ticking. We need replacements if we sell him, or if we put a foot down, dig with heels in, say, nah, you're not gonna. You can sit in the reserves this World Cup year, etc., etc. But there we go. That is a wrap up of all the videos from Aston Villa. I hope you enjoyed the match reaction, the vlog, scoring the players, and this one, the last word. Yes, we're off to the under-21s now. I'm going to jump in the car and head home. See you soon, everyone. Drop us a massive like. Bye bye.